have a hard copy, you can. All right, we are going to start this public meeting that we have set up specifically for the Emergency Solutions Grant related to an amendment to New Hope Ministries 2023 awarded ESG for housing assistance. And today is Friday, January 17th, and it is approximately 1:35 p.m. We will be having a conversation about the proposed amendment to the budget specifically, and two activities related to the amendment we are proposing to put before for this grant. The video of this meeting will be shared on our YouTube channel afterwards. Public comment is available to be received until Tuesday, January 21st, which is included on our website and will be on the YouTube channel replay of this meeting. If anyone who is attending this meeting has any questions or comments, you can add those to the chat and we will address those when we get to the ending portion of the purpose of what we are proposing. So at this time, I'd like to, I'm Molly Helmstetter, Director of Development at New Hope Ministries, and I'm going to kick it over to our Program Director, Sue Fornicola, who is going to give an overview of New Hope in our housing program, and then Eric Saunders, our Executive Director, who will speak and share more information about the amendment that is being proposed. Sue, it's all yours.
Thank you, Molly. I know that all of us have experienced this cold that's happening around us outside every day. And as we get the phone calls and or the folks walk in our doors, we know the need is great when it comes to housing in all of the communities that we serve. So our goal is to help each and every person achieve that stability through housing to the best of our ability. And we've housed over 380 families since we started this housing program. And I know that's just a small drop in the bucket of the needs that are out there. So this funding is going to help us to be able to meet those needs even greater when it comes to the families that either call again or walk into our door, and we'll be able to help them with the other needs that they may have, but housing being one of the biggest ones. And our goal and our desire is to be able to meet that need. So nobody is standing out there in the cold, but they have shelter and they have some way to take care of them and their families. And it is a blessing for us to be able to have this grant so that we can meet needs of more people that do, again, come through the doors or give us a call, because we know that we want to be able to help them in any way we can. Eric?
Thank you. Well, greetings to everybody who is going to be watching this recording of our public meeting, and anybody who may join us mid-meeting. It is a really nice opportunity for us to be able to share some of the good work that's being done through our programs and in help of our community. I'm going to jump into a quick PowerPoint presentation that'll try to illustrate some of the things that I'm going to be talking about. So I would invite you to follow along with me. Okay, so New Hope Ministries is a human service agency that serves quite a few needs beyond just housing, but certainly housing is one of the bigger areas. And these are some hot off the press numbers that it will be part of our upcoming annual report. And you'll see as an agency, we impacted almost 9,500 families with various human service needs over the past year. And in particular, I wanted to highlight that 986 families, so over 10%, received some sort of assistance through our agency for housing needs, whether that was rent and mortgage assistance, homeless prevention, homeless assistance, heat and utilities, things like that. And so we know that this is a major problem, as Sue shared, and that the problem continues to grow. And that illustrates for us why we began looking 2 years ago at this Emergency Solutions Grant opportunity, because we knew, as generous as our community and supporters have been, and we've got great partners like local churches and United Way, that we were going to need to have increased resources to be able to help those who were in danger of becoming homeless and experiencing homelessness. One of the features of our emergency solutions grants are that these are true matching grants, and that in order for us to qualify, we absolutely need private support from the community to match those dollars and for us to be successful in our application and delivering services. And so even though we're going to be talking about HUD language today, HUD funded programming, our partnership with the state of Pennsylvania in particular, it's just important that we not underestimate the role our other supporters are making to this area of need. So moving along, I wanted to draw just a quick map, and this comes from the Eastern Continuum of Care, and the publicly supported, HUD-supported housing, homeless assistance services operate through groups called continuums of care. This multicolored map shows a lot of the central counties of Pennsylvania, and are the counties that together make up what's called the Eastern Continuum of Care. And you can see a number of zones. And the two that I would highlight would be the blue highlighted counties, and in particular Cumberland County, where we have service locations, as well as Adams County. And so that includes our Central Valley and our South Central region. So that's one entire continuum of care. Uniquely, New Hope is positioned at the intersection of multiple continuums of care. And so the white space would include a separate continuum of care for York County, where we also offer services. And so one of the reasons we have been able to utilize ESG funding is because we are a true multi-county service provider in a region where there isn't sufficient support for those who are in danger of becoming homeless or experiencing homelessness. And so, but this puts us in touch with a lot of really other important partners, both electronically as well as through some partnership groups that we belong to, and that we do information sharing across many, many agencies and reporting through our emergency solutions grant, so that others can see the type of work that's being done, as well as refer people who are in need of services to New Hope Ministries. Moving along. Come on. Oh, I went to the end, apologize. So we are an emergency solutions grant recipient. And I got to tell you, this is one of the most technical funding programs we've ever been a part of. We did an incredible amount of research. If you go through our archives, you'll see a number of previously recorded public meetings like this one, where we outlined the programs and projects that we were going to be applying for, and specifically asked for community input. And so we want people to know what we're doing, and we want people to feel free to share their input about the types of services that we're offering, as well as the needs our communities are experiencing. And so I re-extend that invitation to those who may be viewing this and would like to learn more or would like to share their perspectives. That would be incredibly valuable to us. Under the federal housing and urban development definitions, I think it's important, just for our purposes here, to remind that there are 4 separate categories of people who can be considered homeless. And you can see these bullet points. The first category is literally homeless, folks that are sleeping outdoors or in places that are not fit for human habitation. And those, that may be the category of individuals that we would most often think of when we consider the problem of homelessness. The second category is those that are at imminent risk of homelessness. Those within a fairly short period of time are going to lose the housing that they have and would become literally homeless. And I think we can all understand the importance of stopping that homelessness eviction process. And if we can keep people from becoming homeless, um, through early intervention, the outcomes are going to be better for them. And quite frankly, the cost of assistance may be lower in the long run to help them preserve the housing that they have and to improve conditions. That third category is homeless under other federal statutes. And that's fairly technical. And there are some folks that would meet that. Unaccompanied youth, I think, falls into that category. And I won't spend much time on that. But then the fourth category is those who are fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence. And we know, particularly for women experiencing homelessness, the problem of domestic violence is one of the leading contributing factors, is an area that is specifically authorized for help under HUD-funded homeless and housing services. And so that provides a little context. So as we were planning last year's grant application, and I'm pleased at this time to announce that we've recently received a second award for the upcoming year. So we will continue to be emergency solutions grant partners. But we applied for financial assistance to be able to focus on primarily those who are at imminent risk of homelessness, thinking that we probably had more flexibility than it turns out as we've learned more about the funding program than the way it's written actually gives us. And that's not a criticism. It's just, a reflection of there's a learning curve in managing such a technical program. But to look at it differently, funding is available for these specific projects. And they would include rapid rehousing, street outreach, homeless prevention, emergency shelter, and then HMIS, which is a database that funded programs can use to communicate with others and record services to families or individuals who are being assisted. We thought our best use of funding when we made application would be homeless prevention and the HMIS system. And so as I go to my last slide, there's our budget. You can see what our original grant was, and we requested $116,000, and that includes matching funds for the homeless prevention services, and a small amount each for our HMIS and administrative costs. We have been so busy since the start of our funding year helping those who are literally homeless, and thinking that if you're homeless and we help you find permanent housing, that we are actually helping. We are doing homeless prevention, and I think it was a lack of understanding on our part that what we really should have applied for in our initial application was multiple categories of service, including a service called rapid rehousing. And that means just what it sounds like, helping people move as quickly from homelessness into permanent housing as we can assist them. And that truly has been a great deal of the work that's being done. But when we started getting ready to turn in expenses for reimbursement, we learned that those were not eligible under the grant terms. And I'm not trying to make it sound silly or us to sound stupid, but we realized that we needed to amend our application to accurately reflect the work that is being done. And so we've taken, and we are still doing a great deal of homelessness prevention, of helping those who are facing eviction and going to become homeless very soon, and getting them caught up and providing services to keep them in their housing over the long term. But we're also helping people who are sleeping in their cars, sleeping on the streets, in dangerous situations. And if you think about the cold weather that we're experiencing as we record this. No human being should ever be forced to sleep in a place that puts their life in jeopardy. And so all we're asking, and this is a very long explanation for a very simple amendment, is that we be allowed to use these grant dollars for a permitted use, which would include that rapid rehousing piece, paying for first month's rent, paying for security deposits, helping people find housing that meets their needs, and then providing supporting services. And if necessary, over a longer period of time to help them become stable. And so we've redrawn that. And our process really functions like this. You come to us, you're experiencing homelessness. I really don't feel like we have the luxury of saying, well, we'll be in touch in 2 weeks, good luck. If we're dealing with life-threatening conditions like cold or street homelessness, we want to get somebody into safe housing right then, even if all the other pieces haven't fallen into place. And so because we are either making shelter referrals or in many cases offering motel vouchers to be able to provide short-term housing opportunities and emergency housing opportunities as we're working out the arrangements to get people into permanent housing. We wanted to make sure that there were funds within the grant that were earmarked for emergency shelter stays. And so if we go back to that list of eligible activities, we are wanting to make sure that our funding will cover rapid rehousing, homelessness prevention, and emergency shelter. We thought that even though we're doing HMIS, and coordinated intake work, it probably streamlined the application if we removed that as a funding category. And so that's the other one. Every one of these activities, including street outreach, are activities that we are actually engaged in the course of our homeless and housing assistance programs at various times. ESG, again, has some complicated requirements related to screening and income and other things that I'd be happy to talk about more, but I'm not going to spend time on in our meeting today. And so we thought, let's submit this amended grant. Let's hold our public meetings so that folks can understand and, if necessary, get feedback on how funds are going to be utilized. But we're thrilled that we have this opportunity and this incredible partnership with the Emergency Solutions Grant and the coordinated entry systems that we partner with around the region. And as Sue has so ably shared, that we've been able to provide long-term care, permanent housing, and immediate support to those who are in a housing crisis. And so that wraps up the proposed change, along with some explanations. And I'm grateful for any who will be watching this, and ask that you would encourage anybody you encounter who's experiencing homelessness in our area to contact New Hope Ministries and see how we can be of help to them. Molly, I'm going to turn things back over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Eric and Sue. Appreciate that. I've entered information into the chat portion of this meeting with a reminder, as Eric just shared, that public comment on this amendment request is open, as has been publicized through our website, social media, and other avenues. It will end on Tuesday, January 21st at 3 p.m. The recording of this meeting will also be available on our YouTube channel. The link is noted as well in the chat. That's New Hope Ministries PA. And at this time, there are no other people attending this hearing live. The attendance, so therefore, is just the 3 representatives at this point from New Hope. There are no comments or questions in the chat box because of that. But again, as noted, comments for those who watch this perhaps at a later date are welcome ahead of the deadline of Tuesday, January 21st at 3 p.m. Again, everything is on our website at nhm-pa.org, and questions are always welcome at our at our locations, but you can also call 717-432-2087, extension 203 for more information. Is there anything else that either of you would like to add before we officially end this meeting?
No, just appreciate the opportunity to present the good work that's being done at New Hope.
All right, thank you all so much. We appreciate it. And this meeting was recorded as noted and previously will be available. And thank you very much for attending/watching.